Hello traders. Once again, this is Creative FX and I'm back with another video. This is going to be a short video about this setup that we traded yesterday. I'm sure a lot of you traded this, or some of you witnessed the setup going in the direction that we had anticipated. And if you did take it, well done. If you didn't, but you saw the setup, and you appreciate how it turned out, well done as well. Learning doesn't end. So I'm very happy that people are getting engaged into these videos that we post every day. So I encourage you, please watch every single video, because there is valuable information that I'm going to be sharing with you. All right, let's go straight to the setup and look how this was supposed to turn out. So if you look, this is my channel here. This is the only channel that we have, so please make sure that you don't follow any scammers out there who are pretending to be me. All right, now if you look, this is the setup that we were dealing with, and as you can see, the pair euro NZD on a 1 hour chart, we were expecting that the market was going to sell all the way to the ADR low, which was basically the low of that day that was marked just outside the Asian box. So this turned out well, and I'm going to show you the results as well. This was the result of the trade while I was in it, and it moved really well. And again, I do have a stop loss. Please make sure when you're trading, you trade with a stop loss. All right, and as soon as I sent this and I told everyone to close, and this is where the market then started to turn around and go back up right to where we had entered. Now this is an encouragement, and I did state that everything that I'm showing you here, it's stuff that I taught over the weekend, and I shared 3 series videos. And again, if you go to my channel, whether YouTube channel or to the Telegram, here is the links to the videos about the 3 series, and this will show you where to find setups, how setups are going to appear, what to anticipate, and what to look for. Remember, every time when I send a setup, I always say no setup, no trade, meaning you need to see price play out the way how we want it to play out. So if that doesn't happen, then it simply means we do not take any trade. All right, now let's go and have a look and see what exactly we were looking at. So with the template that I have here, I'm just gonna quickly go to the 15 minutes time frame and try and show you how the setup turned out. So if you look at this, you'll find that this is how the whole move was, and the number of pips that we had here were about 144 pips all the way down to the bottom that you could have caught just by trading this. So this was a very good setup, guys. And now when I was doing my analysis, I will show you the simplest way of how I found out this was going to be a sell. And again, this is very simple, so I'm gonna keep this nice, simple and tidy. I've taught you about levels. If you want to know how to count levels, please go to the video about counting levels in a span of 1 month. Then you'll see how I count levels. So I'm gonna start in the middle and not at the start. So I did count this whole cycle right here, and after counting, I arrived to a peak formation right there. So this whole cycle that you see here, there's actually 3 levels all the way from the top. So that to me was actually a reset. So the market formed a peak, and then the market went up into a reset. Of course, I know this did not really touch the 200 EMA, which I do not have a problem with, especially if you're an experienced trader. You already know what to look for. And again, you did not get a second leg, which I did not have a problem with. But I did not trade this whole move down, so I didn't have a problem with that as well. However, on Friday, I did trade this move all the way down. So after taking this move all the way down, I knew that the dealer was supposed to push for the third time as well. Now what they did in the morning, they started by pushing down and then they pushed up. That is when I knew that the dealer fooled people into thinking that this was a sell already, so they gave a setup and then quickly went down. Now if you look carefully, you realize that, remember what I said, setups form in key areas. So if we are looking at the 1 hour time frame right here, the first key area that we can see is actually this peak formation right here. This is the first key area that we can see. Now if I then put maybe a box or a line, whatever you are preferring, and pull the line all the way up to there, you can actually see this is where I was expecting a setup to actually come from. So I knew the setup was going to come from that range. Now for those who trade support and resistance, then you could definitely say, oh yeah, this is a resistance area. So this is a resistance area, and you are going to comfortably take a sell as well, knowing that you're at a resistance area. So what happened was, in terms of support and resistance, is that the market traded here on a support and it went up, it came back down, and what it did, it broke the support and then it came back and tested the support and went down again. So that is exactly what the market actually did. Now this is not the ideology that I had before, but I knew this was a key area where I would expect price to then react to and go all the way down. Now let's look at something else that I could have seen on another time frame. All right, so if we go then to the 15 minutes time frame, so this is where everything gets a little bit interesting. So from the 15 minutes time frame, you see, if you listen to what I have been teaching you, you can see a setup there on the 200 EMA on the day before, and the setup that came out very well. And again, you've got very nice pips, which are almost pretty much 150 pips as well. Now on this particular day, I always say this and people always make mistake with it, and I don't want you to make a mistake with that. If there is no setup, it means there is no trade. Now look at what the market did. The market marked the high of the Asian, the low of the Asian. So just by selling all the way down, the market was actually marking the high and low of the Asian. As soon as the market came out of the Asian, they quickly went down and they swept the low of the Asian. So they swept the low of the Asian right here. And I can guarantee you, some people took sell positions there, some people took sell positions there around this area right there, and they had their stop losses around this area right there. Now this is the mistake that a lot of people do, yet there is no setup to trade at that particular time. If your strategy allows you to do that, then I do not have a problem, but according to me, it means there is no setup at that particular time. So you need to be careful with being lured by the market into entering positions in places where you are not supposed to, because this is definitely going to ban your account. All right, if you look at this, it does look like it's actually first leg of an M and the second leg of an M. So you can actually be tempted to say, oh, I saw a railroad track and I'm going to put a sell there, and be tempted because you haven't seen this whole move up. And then the next thing you see, candles start to rally all the way up and you're like, what is going on here? It's because you are trading when there is no setup. All right, now remember we said this is a key area from the 1 hour time frame. All right, now this being a key area from the 1 hour time frame, the second thing we have is to 200 EMA. All right, the 200 EMA crossing right there. Now remember, where setups form at the 200 EMA, that is exactly where we want to take them from. Now this being a key area, because there's also a 200 EMA, it's actually another added confirmation, and the market came right at the 200 EMA and it actually respected the 200 EMA, and we knew this was going to be very good for New York session. So you could have actually bought the London session, but I wasn't going to do it because there was no setup to do that. All right, now having the 200 EMA as our confirmation and also resistance area. We can call it resistance or previous peak formation, whichever you want to call it. Now, another third thing that we saw here, this ADR line there, it was actually sitting exactly right there. If you look at the picture of my setup, you can actually see that the resistance was actually sitting right there. I can show you quickly. Take a look at that. You can see the resistance, the ADR line was actually sitting right there. That coincided as well with key areas, and it showed us that the market was actually ready to offer us a setup in that area. All right, so that is also another thing that concluded for us that this was definitely a good place to take a sell. Now, another thing that we saw as well was that the market was supposed to form a setup. So now we expect a setup to form in that area. All right, unfortunately there is no high of the day or low of the previous day and all that, which is still not a problem because we already have three things that we have seen there where we expect a setup to form, so which was very good. Now the market formed the first leg. So what we saw was the first leg, and then we were issued with the railroad tracks. All right, so that's our first confirmation of turnaround of price. Now second leg was formed as well, and again railroad tracks. So that was a second confirmation again. So we knew that this is actually where we are supposed to enter. Now if we cannot enter there at that stage, all right, if we cannot enter there, or for some reason we can't because the M is not that clear, we then have to wait for the market to close below the 13 EMA. That is where we were going to take our entry from. Now again, if it was still not a good place for you to enter and you want to see the market break the neckline of that M, then that means that area there was going to be your last entry. Now this is the last entry, so it means even if after entering right here you were still going to catch very good pips, maybe probably around 100 pips all the way down. So you had all these entries there to take from, about 3 of them. Now again, we also have the TDI, remember the Traders Dynamic Index. So if we look at the TDI, just a second, right? If we look at the TDI actually showed us two things. Number one, shark fin for the first leg. That's the first thing that we saw. Shark fin for the second leg. The first leg right there, and then the second leg being inside the boundary, So we take our trade when the price line goes behind. So the green line goes underneath the red. The green line goes underneath the red. So that is exactly where you then take your trade from. Now again, that last entry, which is the price line crossing the MBL line, which is right there. I can actually put lines for you so I can show you the exact same areas. All right, so if we put a line, say right here, you can see it's actually on the shark fin right there. All right, if we put a second line right there, you can see it's actually on the railroad tracks right there. And then if we put the third line on the crossover of the green line and the red line, which is somewhere there, so you can see that is where your next entry was going to be. And lastly, where the market actually turned the green line over the yellow line, which is our MBL line. This is where your entry was going to be. So all these are your entries. that you could have taken advantage of, and you can see where your entries actually are. So in this case, you've got this one right here, which is a close below 13 EMA, so that's a confirmation. You've got another one right there, which is this one right there, and you've got another one right there, which is that one right there, and you've got the last one right there. But this is not an entry, this is just a confirmation of a first leg. So that is how you could have actually taken this pair. So I hope this makes sense, guys. And when I say no setup, no trade, I mean it, guys. Please don't ever take a trade if there is no setup. Always make sure that there is a setup before you take the trade. All right, I hope you guys learned something, and you are also learning a lot on this channel. And please stay tuned for more videos, more information. I'm gonna be sharing all these, and I'm happy to share with you guys, and hopefully you're going to benefit a lot out of it. Cheers.